Okay, I think we are kind of set. Let
Hmm?
me just. I need to put the actual start of the video on the description because पहला 1-2 मिनट तो ऐसे बैठ गए हम. 1 मिनट 24 सेकंड तक तो कुछ नहीं हुआ है. Is the ये working? Are you
What?
getting the feed? I sent you it on WhatsApp. The
What's that? Oh, yeah.
stream. Yeah. Are you checking on WhatsApp or
What?
did you check on WhatsApp? The
I just opened Skype and see. Yeah. Oh, wait.
is it working?
Yeah.
It's okay. Cool. It is okay. Mm, cool. Check on WhatsApp.
And that's a 20, yeah, 20 second delay. Oh,
Yeah, there is a 20 second delay. That's okay. So point is mute me
mm-hmm.
and deafen. I mean, खुद को ये कर दे म्यूट डेफन कर ले एंड जब भी तेरे को डाउट रहेगा तभी जस्ट पुट
Should
द
I mute you on Discord or should I reduce the audio of
you
the
should mute yourself and deafen yourself on Discord. There is a 20 second delay. That's okay. So point is, I'm hearing myself. Please do it ASAP. Mute yourself and deafen yourself. Thank you. Deafen कर मैं तेरे को स्ट्रीम में बोलेगा अगर इफ आई वांट टू कम्युनिकेट टू यू देन यू कैन हियर मी ऑन स्ट्रीम एंड देन यू कैन रिप्लाई 20 second डिले के साथ एंड अनदर थिंग इज yeah it should be fine we are good to go kind of.
I heard you like 10 times the same thing.
Yeah, I know because it's repeating, no, because of the
Yeah,
yeah
this pause.
loop. So
Good. So I'll mute myself and you on Discord. And
yeah, mute myself yourself and deafen yourself. Like deafen yourself. That's the best thing because if you never undeafen yourself during the course of this video. Listen to me via the stream itself and mute yourself and only when you have doubts just uh, you can either text me on Discord may I'll be able to see your messages. Comment section may I won't be able to see your messages at all. So if it's a small doubt, you can instantly text me on Discord and I'll be able to see it, and then I'll just cover over that area.
good, 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 good.
Cool, cool. So 4 मिनट तो setup में ही चला गया, but चलेगा. We are doing good. At least things are working. Um, minimize that. I have that open. I'll open that up. Reading Illustrator file. Cool. That is open. That is also open. Done. We can close that as well. Let's go here. Okay, 6 minutes 20 seconds, guys, for setup. Okay, cool. Hi guys. I am now officially beginning the video. We have John on Discord, who is gonna be the person who will be asking doubts on behalf of anything that I may have not covered. Like he's the control measure, so that I cover everything and I don't skip anything. There might be a lot of repetition for any of you who have already sat with me for Illustrator, but today this video is basically going to be focusing on um, covering the essentials, the basics for going about your box assignment. um, so welcome to the Illustrator interface, guys. Illustrator is a vector based software. It's not a raster based software. What I mean by that is we play with formulas to make shapes, so the quality of shapes and everything is way more sharper than a JPEG, which is made up of pixels. So Illustrator usually operates without pixels. So even if there is a JPEG, I usually convert it into pixels, like most of the times, unless it's above 300 ppi, or yeah, 300 ppi, pixels per inch. It's a jargon. If there are many jargons that you don't understand, you can write them down on a piece of paper and then confirm their meanings with me later on. If this is completely going over your head, then just sit with me, Alexei, and I'll sort it out for you. Okay, that said, let's go over things fast. Cool. So this is the first layout that we have in Illustrator. You won't have anything in recents. So we'll just focus on this part. Here's where you enter your details. Oh yeah, you can also go to presets that are given by Illustrator. We'll be going to print because your box will be made on a print paper mostly. So this is A4, right? But I feel most of your boxes will be too big for fitting into an A4. So we'll go for an A3 size paper. We Because I mean, yeah, one major tip: have an actual box in front of you with a scale when you're doing this assignment. It's very important that you do that, because that's what I did, and it really made make lesser mistakes, because I had more understanding of how big a paper I might need. I took a box and I opened it perfectly up, so I got an idea of how the dimensions are and whatnot. So anyway, uh test box, let's do that. Okay, cool. This is the name of the document that we're going to make. A3, name of the document. Here we have the units that we are using. I prefer millimeters because millimeters is something that you can comprehend compared to any of the other names here. Centimeters too, but I prefer millimeters because that way fine tuning can also be done, like of the more minute details. Orientation, we'll go for portrait. Landscape, I don't really design boxes. I prefer portrait. Um, I don't know. It's a preference thing. Width is okay, height is okay because it's already a preset. If you don't know if you don't have this preset, then you can just copy these dimensions. Artboard, we just need one artboard. We won't need more than one artboard. Artboard is the number of papers that we're going to be using. Anything that you're a little confused about what it might be, then you need to have a separate session with me regarding the basics of Illustrator. Um, so artboard is set to 1. Bleed, we don't need to keep a bleed. CMYK, because printers will use CMYK color scheme and not RGB. RGB is more of a digital kind of format, so we'll use CMYK. More settings you don't need, and we just create the document for now. Cool. This is the document that we have created. I would recommend going on the internet to check out how other people have made their boxes and whatnot. And like, not other people have made their box, like basically layouts, templates, to see how the layout of a box actually looks like and how the functioning of a box is. Like, you need to if you have zero idea, which I had zero idea, so I actually went online and I basically tried to recreate something basic. If you're going to go for something ambitious, I saw a pyramid box the other day and some other concepts which are tougher to create. It's very much possible. Definitely break your head over them, and I would recommend you going for that. And if you have any doubts regarding how to go about it, or if you are hitting a block, then definitely you can ask me. I can help you out, or you can ask Akash sir. He will definitely help you out. But whatever is more accessible to you, go for that. But the basic one is what we are going to go for today. We have certain samples. This is the one that I made for my submission. I really scouted a lot for like details in what all I want in my scene, like in my box. There is a quantity over here. Then basically note down elements of the box, like of the design, like what all do you see. There is the volume, uh, there is a decent amount of spacing, and like composition has to be maintained in the front of your box. Like these are all just design aspects. There's a little bit of branding on the top of the box. Just visualize the box completely, gain inspiration from various different boxes. And I basically looked at a soap box to have an idea of what all they put. So logo हो गया, then edition हो गया. Soap boxes might have additions like flavors instead. Like this is like a neem ka patta ka. So I don't know. To just you understand like variants. Recipe number 21 is like a triple distilled, just a jargon, like a USP. Ki why this is better than others is another thing that I've seen on packaging of products. Um, Vodka, obviously, I mean, TK makes sense. An illustration just to make sure that it doesn't go too bland. It's up to you. These are the things that I felt at the time, the first time I made a box. I felt like these things make sense. uh, Over here there were contents. Just totally go for as legit as you can go for, like barcode. There is MRP. This text is in a shittier text than this text. The choice of typo is also very important. Ki what kind of typo you're going for, what type of logo you're going for. But all of it, I mean, depends on what level of perfection you want to go about, like with things. But like, yeah, this logo is made in Photoshop. Mohan helped me make it. I mean, he made it actually. Mohan made it. I just used it creatively, and you will see why in a bit. Akash sir, I'm sorry, but if you are watching this, then your assignment was making the box anyway, so I am not, yeah, any chopsies there. Best before 24 months, basically हाँ ये सब details तुम लोग देख लो आराम से. You can here I chose to write facts regarding the package. And I also was told to make a visiting card, so I also made a visiting card kind of, along with the scene in the same A3. This is an A3 size page, so this is roughly 15 centimeters, I think. So या A4 में A3 में अगर ये ऐसे बैठ रहा है तो A4 में डेफिनेटली ये बैठना मुश्किल है ये पूरा चीज़. So go for an A3. Like I have said, just this is just to put things into perspective. And use like a 300 GSM paper to make your box, because you need a thick paper, and you won't get cardboard box wala material wala thing, because that's like mass production में that makes sense. Otherwise it's a loss for the people who make it. They will make it in huge numbers and pieces. So I actually spent a lot of time trying to find what kind of a box I wanted to go for. And I spent like a day or two in just researching like where I can find the right material. At the end of the day, I just was like 15 mark assignment. Like at that point, I was just like fuck it. So I went for a 300 GSM paper, which is like pretty thick-ish. The problem is ये जो folds है वहाँ पे, because 300 GSM paper is thicker, it goes through a little bit of wear and tear because it's not really an elastic. It is at the end, yeah, like yeah, it gets those white what do you call tears because paper फटता है. At least the epidermis, like the surface of the paper फटता है. So cool dude. जितना elements दे सकता है उतना elements details वगैरह ले लो. I'm gonna be focusing on the template first, and then design aspects तुम लोग वो देख लो. I'm just showing you a couple of boxes that I made so that you can just figure out what kind of design aspects you want to look for. This is like the Illustrator file. Each of them are individual pieces over here, if you can see. The reason why my text looks like this is because I don't have the text file, which is so you can download text files and install them into your PC, so that you can use those text files depending upon the mood or the brand ka vibe that you want to create. You can download text files and install them and use them. And when you export them into a PDF, the text remains safe, but in an Illustrator file you need to have the text file for it to show. Yahan pe, as we can see, we don't have the text file, that's why this looks like that. You can fix it by just selecting it and it's just changing the text via shit here. We'll get to that in a bit. So this one is mine. This one's one like one of the other boxes. The first box that I made, actually. This one is made for my friend Pratiksha. Like while making hers, I kind of got an idea of how I want to make mine. This was the cover. I made hers. I actually made like one side at a time. I didn't make a template. So I made like first I made this and then I resized it and put it here and ऐसा करके किया. There's like way more breaking it down even further because I was dumb and I wasn't comfortable making and the thing in the template itself. Later on, I realized that I mean I can totally um, let me just delete something so that I can understand illustrate this better. Oh my god, that's a heavy file. Let's delete that. Let's see that. So these are vector files. That's why ये इतना blue हो रहा है. And because इतना detailed image Illustrator formula से बना रहा है, your computer will lag a bit because it's a very heavy file. It's tougher to make this. At such times, back then I didn't know this, but at such times you can actually rasterize the scene. You need to know how to do that, but like yeah, you can Google that or like ask me later. Rasterizing the reason why JPEGs are better than vector files is because JPEGs are a lot more limited in size because they are just pixels, right? And pixels aren't as complicated as formulas. It's literally just registering the color of that particular pixel. So yeah, cool. That's just some general knowledge. But later on, what I realized is you can basically pick this. You can literally, I think, rotate it like so. Okay, yeah, let's not focus on that. I don't exactly I think I rotated it like this as per my convenience. Like I selected the whole thing and then I rotated it from here. There's also this other thing that you can do. You can go to transform and then rotate from here as well. After grouping it, group it and then rotate it from here. Right click and yeah. So basically you can design everything in this format, which is what is done here. I think I've rotated it later on. Cool. I close this so that my computer doesn't lag. I will close this as well. Yeah, I'll close this as well for now. Save changes. For no, I don't want to do that. Cool. What I will do is I will open this on. So why I'm doing this is because you guys will have an actual box in front of you. I don't have an actual box in front of me. So for measurements, I'll be I'll be using this. That, if that makes sense. Cool. So yeah, the selection tool is basically one basics again. Sorry John that you'll have to hear this again. Everything in Illustrator behaves like an object. What I mean by that is any entity that you make on Illustrator, like instead like paint me, if you make this line, then you can't do shit about that line. You can just erase it with a rubber. But Illustrator me, you can click and drag it, you can rotate it, you can resize it, and a lot more actually. So yeah, you can do a lot of things in Illustrator. Imagine like this, if A3 is a piece of paper and uske upar you're putting cutouts of things and you're actually manipulating them and they are on top of each other, by the way. So if I have like two squares and there's no fill color in this, let me add a fill color. uh, it actually will cover the line. So that's how Illustrator works. The orient. So that's like some of the basics. And so selection tool, direct selection tool is another tool that you'll be using for this. You can also choose to use the lasso tool if you want to select things very accurately. So if I want to say just select these two boxes, and I don't know exactly how to go about that, then I just go like that, and then that's it. So yeah, I actually clicked another time. That's why I got fucked. See, I selected those two boxes. Now I can just click and drag them around. Cool. So lasso tool, magic wand tool you won't be needing, let's say, but basically you can click on magic wand. And this is tougher to explain. Basically, it will select all similar kind of objects. So all rectangles will be selected if you use a magic wand, but it's very haywire. I've used it limited times, very occasionally. What else do we have? We have a pen tool. Pen tool is very useful. We'll be using this to make things on Illustrator. Okay. So that is cool. We will be having to use the curvature tool, which is again the bhai of pen tool. Curvature tool can make things. You can make things using the curvature tool in curves. You can also use the curvature tool to manipulate things that you have made by double clicking and making curves into edges. If this is making sense to you, I'm just double clicking on these dots, and basically it just made something that was curvy in nature into something edgy. You can play around with this a lot. With these two tools you can actually essentially make any logo that you want, or anything that you want. Actually, you just need to have patience and have a vision. Text tool, like text, there is a lot of things. If you right click on each tool with a drop down, there's a drop down button here as well. There's so many things. Lot of things to explore, but normal text tool is what we'll use. If you click using the text tool, it will make a text heading. um, and if you click and drag using a text tool, it will make a text paragraph. How this is different is text paragraph will behave like a paragraph, so depending upon, yeah, so this is basically keeping the font size constant. It just is redistributing the font over the area of the box and arranging the font according to the space that you're going to give the text box. And this is going to change the nature of the font itself. Like it's going to shrink it, stretch it, you can invert it. See how this is behaving when I resize it? It's actually taking the shape of the size. Like it's actually, yeah, it's like water. It's trying to fit in into the volume that I'm giving it, except water. Never mind. You get what I mean. If I hold shift and resize, then it maintains proportions. Everything in Illustrator maintains thing, like, so any tool that I'm using, if I hold shift, then it will do something. If I hold alt, it will do something else. If I hold control, it does something else. But control in this case doesn't really do much. Shift does proportions. Alt does from the center, it resizes. Like if I don't want to change the position of lorem ipsum, then I can just hold alt and I can make it bigger. If I want to keep the proportion and the position, then I just hold shift and alt together to make sure that they are, yeah, cool. So these two things you'll be using. Okay, another thing about objects in Illustrator, regardless of it being a triangle or whatnot, where by the way, if you make anything using a pen tool, then it's not really, it won't call it a figure, it will call it a path. Path basically means a figure. Why it's called path, there's an explanation to it. I have done some research. Basically it's similar to like calling it like a locus. If you know math, then locus is basically a set of points that satisfy a particular condition. Path is what they have used to explain figures, basically, rather than calling them figures. That would be too unprofessional. So they've just given a certain criteria to define it as an object type. Cool, makes sense. So anyway, object type is going to be written here, like text type, path ऐसा करके लिखा रहेगा. And similarly, what tool you have selected will also be written here. Selection tool is what I've selected here. If I have a pen tool and I try to select things, it won't work because I have pen and I won't be able to select this. So that I just press delete button, so that removed the point that was selected. Anything that's highlighted in blue is basically selected, by the way. because, and it actually depends on which layer you're in. For now, if you're not going to be playing with layers, I don't want to involve layers. There's layers actually. So see, this is the color of the layer, so that's why this is blue. If I add another layer, then it will be red. So anything that I select will be in red. And then there's a particular color scheme that adds layers in. So you don't complicate it. Let's just, yeah. Also, if this is not the layout that you have, then just go here and then click Essentials. If you're using the latest version of Illustrator, then you will have to use Essentials Classic, because this is an older version of Illustrator. So this is like layouts. So we have talked about this place. This place is important as well. Essentially, your entire software is encompassed into this area here, but ये बहुत tough है to navigate, which is why we have an easier way to navigate here, which basically involves tools over here. Any object type will be mentioned here, and ये object type के हिसाब से some quick edits are mentioned here. So all of that you can explore on your own. It's very self-explanatory. Stroke is basically like an outline. So imagine like this text. If I give it a stroke, then I'm giving it an outline around the text. So that outline is just, makes sense. So you can change the color of the outline. This is the outline color. Yeah, bad idea. That's the outline color. If I remove the stroke completely, then I can also show you how the fill color looks. So fill color, let's make it yellow. So that's how fill, and this is very similar. Even for rectangles, it will be very similar. Stroke and all of this is same. I can also change the outline scenes, like the stroke, how the stroke is. So it's very minute. Let me just increase the stroke and hope that this can be seen. Okay, it's not behaving. Chalega. I'll show you in this. So if you increase the scene, yeah. Now if I put like, see how it changed the nature of the stroke. This is specifically for the stroke. Okay, there's like any line. Even if I draw like a line using the line tool, line segment tool, it will make it into the stroke. I can make very useful effects with this. How? Let's say, yeah, you see this? This is actually the line tool over here. You see this? Oh my god, yeah. That, this is a line that I put that stroke in. I just stretched out that stroke long enough for it to look very sleek. And yeah, it's as simple as that. There is also thickness that you can use. You can also make it like very, there are different brushes you can download and upload also. You can also make your own brush. So that's another thing. Opacity, simple. All of this is simple. You can, if you have doubts with respect to this, then just call me up, or like call someone up or just Google it. Just anything that you don't get, Google it. Call if I'm not accessible, and even if I am accessible, I would appreciate if you can figure it out on yourself, because that's how I figured it out, like for myself. This is just something that is focused on your needs, like needs of an SIS student who's doing an Akash sir assignment. Anyway, cool. Character. Yeah, anything that's dotted like this, underline dotted, that means if you can click on it, then it will open up like more options. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a bit. So character, you can change the character, you can change the font style. That is samples. It's damn neat. Let's just make it into that for now. Typography is another thing, like what font you should use. That totally depends on the brand you're using and the USP and the message that you want to convey to your audience, to your consumer, and all of that is a separate thing. I'm not going to get into that right now. This is the font size. If you want to know more about typography, you should look it up or talk with Akash sir. Akash sir really gives a good insight. Or whatever I've learned so far today is because of Akash sir. Like, he has really been helpful. Paragraph, left align, center align, right align, left justify. All of this is basics. If you have a text box, paragraph will make a lot more sense. So center align, right align, justify, center justify, right justify, justify. No. If you don't know what these mean, then just look it up. It's very basic. If you want to put a margin in your text box from the left, so left hand side, say it will leave a margin. From the right, I can do the same thing. So it's gonna basically leave that space from the right. You can see how that feels. यहाँ पे this button means that your text is not fitting the text box, so I just, yeah, so now it's satisfied. So यहाँ पे that red indication is gone. Be mindful, you'll understand a lot of things as you go. No, there was no one who taught me what that meant and stuff. It's just common sense. Starting space in a paragraph, so all the paragraphs starting will have some extra space. पैराग्राफ के ऊपर थोड़ा स्पेस, पैराग्राफ के नीचे थोड़ा स्पेस, ऊपर एक पैराग्राफ का ऊपर इज अनदर पैराग्राफ का नीचे. सो बी माइंडफुल ऑफ दैट एज वेल. इफ दैट सेंटेंस डिडंट मेक सेंस टू यू, गो बैक टू स्कूल. Align works with multiple objects or even a single object. So if I'm using a single object, you should choose with respect to what you need to align. If you're choosing multiple objects, then again you need to choose with respect to what you need to align. Right now it's aligning to artboard. So basically, if I press center, it will go to the center of the artboard. If I press center like this, it will go to the center of the artboard like that, in that orientation, and so on and so forth. Distribute spacing is for multiple objects. Jab select kiya, you can also distribute objects when you're aligning things. Distribute is something basically center of the object पकड़ता है. Like ये तीन चीज़ों का center पकड़ेगा. Okay, wow, because I have selected mixed objects, वो अपने आप giving me quick tools में ये सब दे रहा है. Cool. ये सब again, if I change something as basic as this question mark, because it's mixed, it's not one single thing. So if I change something as crucial as this, then it will change the fill color of all three. So be careful. Don't do this without thinking. Stroke, again, it's blank because it's different strokes for all of them. If I press this, then it will add strokes for everything. It's not adding a stroke for this because this doesn't have a stroke color. So if I, wow guys, why the fuck? What's your scene, bro? Okay, let's hope that, yeah, cool. Basically scam करने के लिए try किया ये box, but नहीं. Anyway, cool. Then you can obviously do that, and then that will fuck things up for everyone. Yes, perfect. The thing is, यहाँ पे it's a different kind of a brush on which it's a different kind of a stroke, like variable width profile. I mean, this is having two brushes working on it, like two criterias trying to be fulfilled over here on this stroke. Over here, it's just this.
By the way, check
Anyway, cool.
Discord.
Then you can
I've sent
obviously
the gift.
that. Nice. Shakes my head 20 minutes with basics. Cool. John is funny, guys. ठीक है, cool. So, ठीक है. John will have to relive that joke again just because he's watching the stream as well. No, wait. Yeah, maybe. Cool. So yeah, he'll have to. Cool. So this again, not needed. Opacity ये सब ठीक है. हाँ, let's get back to arrangement. So distribution, because we have selected multiple objects, we'll focus on distribution. This is what it's going to align to. Let's align this to selection for now, so that it's not distributing according to the artboard, because that will change the results. In selection, let's say I want to distribute things equally apart from each other. Then this is that. If I want to distribute a little from to the left of shit, or to the right of shit, okay. To the center again, to the left of shit, yeah. So this will make more sense with like more objects you play with. You'll have a better understanding of what exactly this is doing. But essentially ये center है, तो इसके left में इसको place कर रहा है. From the edges, these guys don't move because these are reference points for the selection. These guys act as the artboard because they are the leftmost and the rightmost things in this selection. Let's go to artboard, guys. Artboard में if I press this, then सब artboard के अंदर fit हो जाएगा. Artboard के हिसाब से line हो जाएगा. So ये सब चीज़ें है. So be mindful of what you are keeping into. Key object is one thing. So this is the key object right now. I can click on this and make that the key object, or this the key object. What this essentially means is that इसके हिसाब से इसको reference point पकड़ के things will be arranged like that. Make sense? Cool. So yeah, again, यहाँ पे you have quick edits, almost everything that you need. Transform is basically resizing or rotating. So this is the or repositioning. So if I change the value of this, okay, I'm using okay reference points. Let's not change reference points for now. So if I resize, if I do this, then this changes. I'm using my scroll. Cool, cool. All of this John knows. I think John is getting mad because of that. So yeah. Anyway, ठीक है. Cool. All of this is cool. So that these tools you use text box ये वगैरह ये सब अपन नहीं टच करेगा. Oh yeah, measurement tool अपन use करेगा. That जब use करेगा तब देखते हैं. Cool. Let's make a box now, guys. We'll start off with like the body of the box, which will be roughly this. We will need 4 of those. So we'll click on this and we'll press holding alt. We'll just drag it down. Okay. Have guides on so that it will apne aap show guidelines like how that purple line came in. Like this, all of these are guides. So that you don't fuck up, it will actually try to keep alignment for you. It will force the apps, the software. So intersect is also important so that you don't overlap. This is very confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to invert the fill color with the outline stroke color so that I have a better layout. So in case if something out like overlaps, then that is avoidable. Again, no fill is very different than white. What that means is no fill may. So if this was white, no, when I'm moving this over here, let's say I keep it here. So this is see through. Get it? So please be mindful of that. Okay. So now this is like a fill color with the
Finally,
outline
thank
stroke.
God. Check Discord.
Yes. Wow, Puro, wow. क्या teaching है. Cool, guys. So this is basically all tabake I just made this. Imagine, visualize this box. This box is basically gonna be more of this dimensions in its width and height. Like this is gonna be the width. Uh, like all those dimensions. Yeah, basically a cuboid में this is how. Yeah, visualize करो यार. अगर नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो fucking you shouldn't be watching this video. ठीक है. Apart from that, इसका by rule of thumb, हाँ measurements क्या है? If you want to know, click on this transform दबाओ. You will understand the width and the height. You can change the width and the height accordingly. This is like what 15 centimeters roughly. This is like 8 centimeters height. So according to that तुम लोग खेलो. अगर तुमको ये पूरा चीज़ का ये वगैरह जानना है, I think now is a good time to talk about our measurement rules. So where is it? Yes, eyedropper tool के साथ there is measure tool. So it basically acts like a scale. So I just can click on this dot and I can go here, and then if I drop it roughly here, then I'll get an idea of how much height that was. So this entire thing is around 33 centimeters. Obviously I'm not gonna do it एकदम perfectly right now. ये चीज़ मैंने बहुत perfection के साथ किया था. So yeah, I'm not going to do that right now, but yeah, basically use your measurement tool to have a rough idea of कितना ये हो रहा है. Use it as and when you like it, but for accuracy, click on this, click on transform to understand what the exact values are. This is to constrain the proportions. So yeah, another thing, reference point is also something that you might be using. So what you will be using it for, I'll just get to it. So basically, let's say you have this. Okay, so now I shall duplicate this over here. Again, measurements I'm leaving it up to you guys, okay? This is just quick ass tutorial on how to. Oh fuck, did I just. Is this necessary? Let me just check. So this is the layout. So I need 1, 2, 3. I need 1, 2, 3. So I'm just gonna replicate this one here. So these are alternate and these are side profiles. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go stepwise, guys. So cool. Do I need it there? I don't need it there. So I'll delete this for now. So this and this have to be identical. So rather than editing it like individually, I just make one and then I'll just reflect it. I'll duplicate it and reflect it. So I'm gonna make this into something that's like around this much, because this is gonna be folding, right? Oh wait, no, this is gonna have to be ye length, is cheese ka length, because when you close it up, it's this edge will come, it will touch this edge, and this edge will touch this edge. Yeah, this edge, it will touch this edge, guys. So ये और ये दोनों को टच करेगा ये चीज, ये वाला edge is gonna touch this and this edge, basically opposite, alternates or opposites. So this side is the opposite to this side. Wait, this side is opposite to this side. So I need to make sure that this entire side is getting close. So here's where your measurement tool comes in, guys. Ye length is what this, so this is like a proper square. If I see, yeah, this is like a proper square over here, if you see. Unless you guys are making a box which has variable, like soap box, the one that I made for Pratiksha. If you guys are making that, then you guys need to make sure that this length is iska length. Basics. Okay, cool. So let's just go to transform tools. Now here's where the reference point comes in. So if I basically change the value of the height, so I'm just going to take the height value, just control C that, and then I'll take the width and then I'll paste it, and then I press enter. That is a problem, guys. I don't want to spend time doing that. So what I'll do is I'll take this, I'll press reference point. So now this will be fucking frozen. Okay, so now I can totally go done, right? Now I'll take that, done. Okay, cool. So we have done that. Abhi, we are gonna look at our template. So this template says we need that, 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 and that. Okay, cool. So we're gonna make one first. Let's make one that's fullest, so that we can work on it isolatedly and not disturb other things. So cool. This is what we are gonna do. So यहाँ पे we want this not really that big, not definitely not as big as that. Let's make it roughly half the size. I think half is sort. Less than half or half. Don't make it more than half. It's thoda sa annoying. I mean, half is. Didn't really matter. Didn't bother me too much. I'm gonna make it half the size. You guys see what box you have. I don't. Is this half the size? It's roughly half the size, huh? It is half the size. Cool. I'm just gonna stick to half the size then. Okay. So before I do anything to this, always make one, guys, and then just duplicate it so that you just avoid. So here's the direct selection tool. So what the direct selection tool does is, selection tool uses like one point. Direct like selects an object. Direct selection tool can select a point within that object. So I'm just gonna select this object now. I'm gonna select a point within this, right? And I'm gonna go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just pressing arrow keys, guys, on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just trying to maintain like a rule of thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So I've gone 15 points यहाँ से, like 15 times I pressed यहाँ से, and यहाँ से 10 times मैंने किया है. Just a rough idea. Like I want this not to be symmetrical. I have kept it like zara sa asymmetrical. I don't know, boxes have had it like that, so I'm just, there's no logic to why. Until it feels roughly like, hey, this is how the box looks like. You're good. Unless someone studied why the fuck is it in that particular proportion, then good for you guys. You can let me know. You can DM me. Cool. I am happy with that. I never needed it to know what the fuck that is about. So anyway, I'm just gonna click and drag that over there. I'm just gonna click and drag both over there. Now all I need to do is go to transform, guys, and then go to reflect. Transform is insane. So vertical left reflect is what we want to do. Don't just press fucking okay. Voila, we are good. So that's basically what you had to do. It's gonna sort your life so much. I just I'm trying to visualize something. Is it sorted? It is. Okay. One thing. Oh, so you guys need to make sure that this and this are also reflected horizontally, so it's, your box doesn't look like it has asymmetrical issues. So now it's symmetrical. Now it's sorted. Now things are all good. If you apply logic, you'll understand why I did that step. Also, some reason, yeah, felt like it. This always happens, yeah. Fucking. So I'm gonna select this whole thing. I'm gonna group it. I'm gonna center line this bitch. I'm gonna scale it down a bit so that I can work on it better. Center line again. Now I'm gonna click on this bitch again. I'm gonna ungroup. I'm gonna see why the fuck are these three misbehaving. Cool. Now it is not misbehaving. Thank you. Just please be very mindful of these edges. Just fucking make sure these are perfect because it's I messed it up actually. If you, I don't want to show this, but fuck it. You see this? You see this? Yeah, you see that? That's a fuck up. Akash sir, I'm sorry. Please don't see this. Please don't watch this video. So that's a fuck up. So yeah, avoid fucking that up. I totally fucked it up. But yeah, जुगाड़ करके I folded it in such precision that सब sort of, yeah. Cool. Anyway, now I'm gonna make another box, uh, which is gonna be the flap. Again, transform the bitch out of this. Left reference point. Take the width because that's what you wanna reduce. I'm using the scroll. Cool. That should be sorted. Let's use direct selection, guys. Let's taper that bitch. Let's taper that bitch. Let's give it like, yeah, just click and drag this in. That's it. Oh yeah, you fuck. You probably want to make that symmetrical, don't you? Uh fuck it. Fuck. Delete. Oh my god, that's delete. Cool. Again, make it transform. I'm gonna just change the width to 8. Gonna take this page. I'm gonna not. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's sorted. Saved a lot more time this time. Now I'm just gonna take that. Press Alt. Done that. Intersect. Now I'm just gonna transform. Reflect. Oh, vertical is basically choosing the axis. Be smart enough for that. Cool. I made the flaps. The box is almost done. So now we basically take this, click and drag that. Oh my god. Yes! Ain't that perfect? ये क्या scam है? I am pretty sure that we're good, but let's just align everything just to see if I'm fucked. I am a genius! I mean, I'm much better actually. I think that I did fuck the alignment a bit. But this is better. So just reference point this bitch. Height कम करो about that much should be fine. This I think फर्क नहीं पड़ता वैसे बिकॉज हम लोग कई चीज़ से जब काटेगा तभी सॉर्ट होगा. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 roughly. I think I don't know, I don't care, but yeah, that's done. So now you have the template of the box that you want to make. Now you add the branding and shit. I always recommend mm, grouping so that you can play around. Yeah, fuck, direct selection. Oh, makes sense. Let's not use that. So there we go, much better. So you can click and drag. Apart from that, navigation scrolling, you can use your scroll. If you want to scroll left and right, control scroll. If you want to scroll fast, shift scroll. If you want to scroll zoom in and out, alt scroll. So all of that is going to be really helpful. What else have I used? John, you want to let me know what I might have missed or some doubt that you might have, or do shall we go to the next stage? 53 minutes, 6 minutes, 20 seconds, 53 minutes is where we finished making the template and going through some of the basics of Illustrator. Johnny boy, please tell me, shall we go to the next step of making logo? Oh, I think I haven't shown Mohan's. This is another box that I made. This one I made in half an hour. Because I already had made this one, so it was very basic. I just used the same template to make deodorant. This one was from Mohan because so the logo was damn fast to make. I just yeah, I'll I'll make I'll tell you guys how to make logos. Barcode is also damn fast to make. I used gradient. Cool. This and all is so advanced. You guys will not be needing all this, but take care. Did John leave? John is there. John, tell me what to do. John, should I show you guys how to do this? Should I show John? John, should I show this? Should I show the complete making or let's see. John. Slept over. I think John like literally stood up and like went. I'll end this stream here actually.